Yo, what's going on, guys? Koi here. Today, we are doing our master's guide on Super Saiyan Goku and pretty much his whole kit. So let's go ahead and do our deep dive. If you guys haven't seen, I've done a guide on every single character in the game since the release of the game, and I'm putting them all in the playlist that will be in the description down below, where you guys can go click on the characters that you need help understanding, or better yet, helping to get better at, so to speak. So, I already played a lot of freaking Super Saiyan 3 Goku in the first couple hours of the release, and I gotta say, he is freaking good, man. He's honestly of the most impressive uh, attackers in the game, with the most burst damage kit, with the most mobility. He's just crazy. Mostly a key damage build, so there will be some caveats and counters to him, but we'll talk about that in just a bit. All right. Now, some things I would like to discuss before we actually get into some of the things about his kit. One of the things that is very unique about his kit, but also quite weird, is his Dragon Fist is actually locked behind his transformation, kind of like the way that the Cell games is locked behind, perfect form transformation before you could get the Cell games. So, yeah, do take that in mind while I talk about it. Okay, first things first, Super Saiyan 3, of course, base HP, attack up. Damage dealt by if I won't, then who will goes up. And let's go ahead and talk about that passive. Now, the way that this kind of works, right, is that depending on how low you are, depends on how much of a bonus you get damage wise on the enemy. So you'll get these stacks of like Goku damage stacks where you could get some bonuses of attack all to the enemy, and you'll be able to hit them back with extra damage on top of your normal damage. More of like I would say, not really a counter, more along the lines of like, I really don't understand a good way to put this. Maybe revenge? Yeah, something like a revenge, I would say. Not like Cooler's revenge, where his is more of like a consistent passive buff. This one's more of like a very unique niche buff that doesn't really make a lot of difference in terms of combat. Like, honestly, the cards make a lot more of a difference for Goku, so I would not worry about trying to stay as low as possible the entire match to get crazy damage off, because it's not going to happen. Uh, there's a lot of moves in the game that will kill you before you even get the chance, but it's a nice bonus. I wouldn't say that it's an absolutely good bonus. I feel like it could be tweaked to be more aggressive, so to speak. But of course, let's dip into his rush attack. Now, his rush attack actually is very unique. He gets a bonus powered up rush attack. And this is kind of a nice one because this one actually is consistent. So you don't really have to be continuously firing, it's automatically charging up. So after you use it, it automatically charges up. You don't have to do anything about that. It automatically charges up. You shoot it again, it automatically charges up. So even if you're not really fighting, you just want to poke, you could literally stand back, wait for it to come back, and then throw the energy ball right back at the enemy. And it's really freaking cool. Um, I would say that it's like honestly my favorite part about his kit because of how consistent it is, and the fact that you could just poke, especially whenever you're just doing farming in general. You could just throw the energy ball at every single one of the farms while your teammates fighting it with rush attack, and then all of a sudden you got very, very fast farming. I like this about Goku, and I actually use his aggressiveness very often. Super Kamehameha, his gravy. Now, I wouldn't say like this is the best move in his kit, and I'm going to tell you why it's not just the best move in his kit. It is very unique. Now, the way that this one works is you actually have the ability to shoot short bursts or long bursts of the same Super Kamehameha, just depending on if you charge it. So it is literally also sound cued. So for those Dragon Ball fans who love to hear the Kamehameha, like, it is sound cued. So the second he does fully charge it, he just does Kamehameha, and then whenever you release it, he goes, ah, you know what I mean? So, for the fans, that's really freaking cool. Very unique. We like it. Well, besides that, though, you can also move this energy blast. You could actually move it side to side. You can move it left and right. And the second it makes impact with anybody, it does a direct amount of damage. Now, this is really interesting about it. So let's say you're trying to hit multiple people at once. You will hit multiple people, but anybody that also jumps into it will take that first array of damage as well. So let's say you shoot it out and it does 1,400 damage to Frieza, and it's still going out there. Like, it's still, out there after he already got hit. Now he's being hit by the aftermath. But if somebody else jumps in, like Cooler, Goku, anybody else, they get hit by that, boom. Now they also took that 1,400 damage, and now they're also being hit with the aftermath. So it does have a really, really nice indirect attack, which still hits everybody else if they get involved. Now, the what do you call it? There are some things about this one. So the range and duration increase is a lot longer if you fully charge it. Do you need to charge it? I wouldn't necessarily think you have to, and there's a reason why we'll talk about in a second when we get deeper into his next abilities. The distance will not reduce the damage dealt if charged to max. No, this is pretty interesting. Can move and redirect it. We just talked about that. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Explosive strike. Now, this one is very, very interesting, the way that it actually works. So this is your chase down. That's it. It's literally just used to chase down the enemy, and that's it. So you're going to pretty much an execution, which is really cool. So quickly move into a set position above the sky. Also, you have some iframes whenever you're using it. Deals more damage the less the HP the enemy actually has. And so this is not really your opener. And trust me, there's an opener we're going to talk about in just a second. Just give me some time. This one is more of like I'm going to chase you down to the ends of the earth. And when I hit you with this, it's really going to hurt. So it's really, really cool. So the re-enter the command to move quickly back to where the skill was activated. So this is really cool. If you activate it, and then you activate it again, it sends you right back to where you were. So you're not going to like stay on top of their head. You could go back and then shoot again. Oh, I got interrupted by oh, thank you for the subscription, Dragon Fang. My bad. I keep forgetting to turn that off when I make videos. But like I was saying, you could go back to position, then shoot out a kamehameha or set up for the third skill. This is bread and butter. This is how the jelly's made. So this is crazy. Instant transmission. You can teleport to anyone on the map that you could actually see. So if there's a mini-map, like obviously your mini-map, if you see them on the mini-map, enemy or ally, you can teleport straight to them. Very, very broken. The way that this works is if, like, let's say if they're even seen by the, not just by other players, but also by the Zenos, if they're also seen by the Zenos or the gods, you can still see them and teleport to them too. So there's not like there's not a necessity for you to wait until your ally runs into them. You could also just run into them if, like, let's say Zeno's attacking the point. You can instant transmission on top of the enemy and still either use a Gekishin burst or use a super kamehameha full power. Now, this is the cool part. So, you become an instant transmission kamehameha if you use the kamehameha right after you instant transmission to an enemy. And the dope part about this is that it actually counts as a full power. So it's this full charge up, no charge up necessary, straight up release. And it's just going to give you all that benefactor. And I've used this in some really, really crazy, crazy scenarios. I got to say, he's just a fantastic character. Really, really broken. The cooldown of this skill is shortened if an enemy is selected. So you can use this and then get into battle. And then you could also get out of battle using the same skill. This is just really, really broken. I've used it for all of it. I've used it for like getting out of sticky situations. I've used it for full on rushing an enemy. I've used it tracking down enemies that ran away. And then now my Zeno found them or they ran into my god or something like that. And then you just jump right on their head. Or this is a crazier one, Goku and Goku setup. Now, the thing about Goku, right, is you can set this up to where Goku can pretty much do like a full-on Kamehameha. You could jump right in, instant transmission, Kamehameha as well. It's crazy. The double Goku Kamehameha has been insane so far. I've seen it already used in a couple matches. Because Goku already does a lot of damage with his Kamehameha at full power. You get Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3 Goku in there, now he's going to do even more damage. The Kaioken Kamehameha is really good already. This one on top of it, full power, they can't get away. Dragon Fist. This is awesome. But, like I said at the beginning of this talk, that Dragon Fist can only be used after you become Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And the reason why is because this is a movie exclusive move, the Dragon Fist. Very, very dope move. There has been, like, obviously different versions of it throughout time, depending on which version of Dragon Ball you've seen before. And, you know, depending on which one you've seen, the Dragon Fist could be entirely different. This one is specifically from the movie, the Dragon movie. Very, very dope movie, by the way. So the Super Dragon Fist is just, it has 3 different variants. Now, this is the crazy part. The first variant's like a very small one, very slow one. The second one's like slightly better, but the third one's just one massive dragon that hits one time, like the Kamehameha, like the Super Kamehameha, hits one time, then has an after effect of damage, which is pretty cool. So you can use it exactly, like if you're used to like using the Super Kamehameha full charged, it's going to feel the exact same way if you just start using Dragon Fist. Now let's talk about the build. So the build itself is actually quite interesting, I would say, because I am someone who really believes that this Goku could be used for a lot more of just running around the map more than anything. And there's some things that I like to use for that. So for instance, Super Snowball is a given. You just have to use Super Snowball. If you're going to be running around the map, you want to have as much damage, burst damage as possible with all your moves as quickly as possible, then move on to the next one. Because that instant transmission Kamehameha with 4 stacks of Super Snowball does so much damage, you have no idea. Also matched with Prepare to Die. Boost damage slightly on an enemy hero until the end of the confrontation. So this greatly increases damage when an enemy is below 50% HP. The way this works, right? Remember that one skill we talked about, right? Where we use a giant slam onto the ground, skill 2? Yeah, that one with this one, when they're already below 50% HP, does so much damage. You have no idea. Just landing on top of their head, finishing them off, perfect, bread, butter, done. Like, you made a whole, like, butter sandwich at this point. Now, some would say, Koi, why don't you just go for Wicked Warrior? Why don't you go for Pursuer? I don't like either of these cards for this Goku particularly. And the reason why is because I really, really like Defensive Step. Now, the reason why is because whenever you're Goku and you're in a position where you have to jump in or instant transmission into a big fight, you leave yourself incredibly vulnerable. If you use your instant transmission to get into a big fight and you're using Dragon Fist and all your other moves, and then the other Goku decides to use Dragon Fist and all of his moves, and the other enemies are doing the exact same thing, then Defensive Step is your best friend. You just want to outlive any super attack that they try to hit you with, and it's a fantastic way to like get rid of all that crazy damage, especially from stuff like Spirit Bomb, from stuff like Frieza Supernova, you know, those moves that are almost nigh undodgeable. This is just going to make it livable for you to continue using your stacks of Snowball, teleporting around, using your Dragon Fist and flying around and stuff. It's crazy, man. You could really go absolutely crazy. And I think Defensive Step is just the way to go. I've tried using like Pursuer and obviously Wicked Warrior. I think Wicked Warrior works best because Wicked Warrior does stack off of the bonus attack that you do get, like Piccolo and other characters I've recommended Wicked Warrior on. But if you want that survivability to keep your 4 stacks of Snowball to not die and lose them, then you need to have that Defense Step. And I think Defense Step just really is the chef's kiss on this character. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell down below. Don't forget to check out the other videos on the playlist if you already haven't. And if you have, thank you. Honestly, I really appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. Peace out.